Looks like it'll be an Irish first down.
Okay, I think when you're down 30-0, I think what you're, as a player, what you really want, first and foremost, is just you don't want to have a shutout. I mean, you want to get some points on the board. I mean, losing a disaster thing, but being shut out, it just feels so badly. And on the other hand, if you're Florida State, Mickey Andrews, the defensive coordinator, I mean, the shutouts are awfully hard to get. And they want to preserve that.
Quinn for the end zone. Stovall can't hold on. Defended by McFadden.
And again, just the juxtaposition of the receivers. You know, the Florida State guys jumping up. Time Maurice Stovall, a little bit of tough catch for Maurice.
Stovall has the kind of size that we've seen in the Florida State receiver, 6'5". Quite coordinated him. Yeah, he did.
Pretty good coverage there. Brian McFadden, number 8. Yeah, McFadden, number 8. Junior now, coming out of high school, he was the #1 recruited cornerback in the country. Started to play to that level.
Not only can cover, but he had 150 season, 150 season. Quinn upset with that.
You know, we talked about being a Division I quarterback at a place like Notre Dame is such a journey. And Brady Quinn is making some progress, but it's painful to watch sometimes, you know. Had his best game as a thrower last week, but what they need for Brady Quinn's development is have some balance. It's a used word from coaching staff, they're looking for balance. But they just have not been able to. Either they have to throw it too much. One game they ran it for 262 yards, but they put a little bit too much on Brady Quinn's shoulders.
3rd down and 10. Pass complete to Fasano. He lowers his shoulder and pounds.
And that's a great run by Fasano. Remember we said a little earlier, Tom, that was 3rd and 10. Completion. They tackled, had to punt the ball. This time, throw on 3rd and 10. Your receiver has got to break a tackle, and that's what Anthony Fasano. 14 of his pals. New Jersey came up to watch him play today. Italian town in New Jersey.
That time couldn't break free. Got a couple yards.
A little bit about Fasano a couple of weeks ago, but you know, his record in high school, 23 touchdown catches his year in high school.
Oh, that was one of his friends right there. Yep, it's you. You're on.
They all came down to Winnebago, had some Italian food. Get ready.
Scrambles. Dragged down at the 8-yard line. Tailgate. Here's tailgating at Notre Dame, Italian style.
Food, right? Wow.
Italian meatballs.
This is for the guys in the booth. From the guys from Verona, New Jersey. Go ahead and take this out.
Oh, boy.
Thought we were supposed to get that from Lewis.
Lewis is so tall and thin, he had a lot of the great.
3rd down play, and Stovall was wide open, and Quinn missed him, and Stovall into the percussion session. Wow, he came wide open on that 3rd down play. They converted all 3 of their 3rd down.
But you know, Tom, that's twice Brady's thrown the ball out of the field.
Yeah.
Stovall and into the drop. Man. All right, they're going for it on 4th down to avert at this point, the 30-0 shutout.
Quinn's pass incomplete. And once again, Florida State will take over.
The good play by Brian McFadden. We're talking about how good he was in high school, and Mickey Andrews talking to us about, hey, he's really beginning to play at the level they thought he was going to when they recruited him. It's been all Florida State.
or a new benchmark of design? Introducing the new LS from Lexus.
I'm the reason that your block is vacant. Whoa.
Don't worry about all these kids coming straight into the league and not getting an education. They'll be fine. Taking them to school.
What happened to that boy?
3 people are staying at the same 3-star hotel. Identical rooms. One of them is paying 40% less. Can you guess who? Priceline has the guaranteed best prices at top-of-the-line hotels. You choose the price, neighborhood, and a 2, 3, or 4-star hotel. You'll save up to 40% off. Top-of-the-line, guaranteed best price. Priceline Hotel.
Let's see if I can sneak up on these guys. Look at this surprise I have for you all. Oh,
God.
Look at that.
Rest of it.
Oh, well, I ate some of it. I'm hungry too. There's a little Italian sausage. This is incredible stuff. All from bad, huh?
Oh, man.
I was told you don't get those in Southern California, Pat.
No, they don't. Atkins would really be upset. What's pretty good, though.
So Lewis did make it to the booth with that gate fair.
You know, it looks like
Craig Jones took a shot. Watson a tackle. In fact, portions of the Sopranos in Verona.
Yeah.
There are the guys that enjoyed the cookout much more than they have enjoyed the game.
Yeah, indeed. Well, you know, it's getting to that point. If you get into the fourth quarter with a 30-0 lead, I think Bobby got ball game.
Notre Dame just completed a 14 empty. Now for 7 from the 9. Draw play, Jones. Tackled by Greg Pauly.
It's one of those delicate pull a quarterback. Your quarterback taking some shots like Chris Ricks did right there. And we've seen some that was the previous play. You can say, it's not. And I just think Florida State, there's the Fabian Walker, the number 2 quarterback, who Jeff Bowden told us this week that this guy's ready to.
Said he was fully confident in putting him in the game should Ricks go down. Season had this year. There goes. Short of the first down. And that's the 3 with FSU leading big. Back to Notre Dame after these messages.
Enjoying this unique look from high above. Worst starting field position for Georgia today. They got it at their own 9.
And Jill mentioned Tyson Browning probably not back. That means Michael Cooper and Craig Lumpkin at the running back position for the Bulldogs.
Play fake. They fire it out. David Green does. And forward progress is going to put Fred Gibson down at the 19-yard line.
Seminoles have been basically on cruise control since the first quarter. Fourth down punt, Devontae Duff. And Duff trying to turn the corner, slides out of bounds and took a lead hit. Out of bounds. I don't see a flag. 35-yard punt, 8 yards on the return.
Whether they're fast on defense, they're fast on offense, and they're fast on special teams.
Well, the last time Notre Dame had the ball, 14 plays, stopped on 4th down, no points. Wow. Since 1940, just once have they been shut out multiple times in a season. That was in 1960 when they lost to Michigan State 21-0 and to Iowa 28-0. Already this year they have a 38-0 setback at Michigan.
Well, they got great field position. If they want to avert the shutout, they've got great field position to start this drive.
42-yard line. Quinn fakes, tosses, incomplete. Intended for Fasano, high off his hands. Then Hall had a shot at it for the interception of Rufus Brown, number 7.
Brady Quinn has completed just 13 passes now in 32 attempts. And that one was just, you know, that wasn't pressure. He's had a lot of pressure early in the game. That's the one you gotta get to your tight end, let him run after the catch on first down.
Numbers on Quinn. Shovel pass to Fasano to Julius Jones. And Julius Jones fights his way to a first down.
Yeah, that's a good word, fights, because he broke through about 3 different tackles. And they tried this earlier, this little shovel pass, didn't work. And you get the ball to and he just kind of shook 2 tackles to pick up a first down. So that's a nice, powerful run there by Julius Jones.
Well, mixed loyalties. Grandpa played for Notre Dame. Mom and Dad went to FSU. Looks like he's in the Florida State section, so he did pick the winning side today, apparently. Timeout. You see Julius for time. Irish get it. Trailing big to FSU.
Let's say this is you.
Newt Rockne.
This isn't the actual game, but this is a practice. The forward pass was unknown, and the football was kind of fat. It was hard to throw, but Dorius and Rockne had practiced this on the beach where they worked as lifeguards in the summer.
And look at Gus Dorius' numbers that day. Again, this is 1913. He was 14 of 17 for 243 yards. His first pass was a 25-yard touchdown pass to Newt Rockne.
Well, Army probably didn't know how to defend it.
No.
They, completely bumfuzzled by it.
Bumfuzzled, that's right. And today they've thrown for, what, 82 yards.
Yeah, but you talk about the forward pass. There's a man and his staff that have perfected it over the years.
Yeah, you think about the great receivers, the great quarterbacks, the pitches and catches they've had over the last 28 years. It's been absolutely astounding.
On 3rd down and 7, Ryan Grant out of the backfield, scrambling ahead for a first down. Samuels the tackle. He's inside the 20-yard line.
Yeah, another one of those 3rd and longs where they throw it short of the first down, and the second time in a row they've converted. First time was to Fasano, and that time to Ryan Grant.
Tackled by A.J. Nicholson.
They're just relying on those guys to make something happen after the catch. As you look at the quarterback comparisons, yeah, the completions are kind of equal. It's just the yardage.
First down pass complete to Jenkins. And Omar ducks inside, and he's to the 5-yard line before he's thrown back by a host of white-shirted Seminoles. Notre Dame football is brought to you by ADT, America's residential and commercial security leader. Call 1-800-ADT-ASAP. By Allstate. You're in good hands with Allstate. And by the document company Xerox. There's a new way to look at it.
But Notre Dame's looking, and Ty Williams looking for anything, any positive out of this game, and a touchdown right now would be a positive.
Trying to avoid the shutout. Quinn's pass. Kind of off the back foot. Stovall couldn't get there.
It was that 2-tiered pass. He had Raymond McKnight in the front of the end zone who was open.
Yeah.
And then he had Stovall in the back. And he threw the ball to Stovall, but McKnight was open at the goal line.
The growing pains of Brady Quinn against one of the nation's best defenses.
If they can find some balance for him over man in motion, deep and short. And I think the short man's open right now. Yeah. Give him the ball. Give him the ball.
Second down. Trying to bounce to the outside. Julius Jones couldn't quite get there. Knocked out of bounds short of the goal line.
Got a lot more out of that run than I thought he was going to get.
Boulware prevented the touchdown. Michael Boulware. Player, impressive person.
Can you imagine the number of tackles that he has had? I mean, it's just been incredible for 3.5 years. Tackle after tackle.
It's going to be 3rd down and goal for the Irish. The ball just inside the Seminole 5.
Here's where you love your tight end. And Fasano made a great catch against Southern Cal a couple of weeks ago. He's right down here.
Tight end to the right. Short drop from Quinn. Stands. Intended for Fasano, but the hit from Carter knocked the ball free.
I guess Mickey Andrews had seen that tape too. The coordinator had him double.
All right, it's 4th down. You kick a field goal to avert the shot.
Don't. See, I think if Fasano comes back, oh, what a great play. Who was by number 23, Jerome Carter.
He just got his hand in there.
Yeah, because it looked like he caught it, didn't it?
Flick it out of there.
Yeah, boom.
So they'll go for it on 4th down. And Mickey Andrews signaling frantically for a timeout. And Florida State gets it. Yeah. And you don't think Notre Dame wants to avert it? That's the drama. About all we have left. We'll get to it when we come back.
People everywhere are discovering a new way to protect their homes and families, all thanks to a security system called SafeWatch EZ, only from ADT. Now you can arm your system with just the turn of a key, and with no codes to enter, SafeWatch EZ virtually eliminates accidentally setting off your alarm. Now you can get SafeWatch down. Call 1-800-ADT-ASAP. ADT, always there.
In 1969, the legend of Gatorade embarked on an historic journey from Gainesville to the battle-hardened turf of the NFL. The baby back ribs weren't the only thing getting based of Kansas City.
E.J. Hollop, the toughest guy on the team, kept running out of gas.
It was hotter than a Texas tamale.
Salvation came in the ring of the phone.
Ray Graves called me. He was a good friend.
Ray Graves of the Florida Gators said his players are called Gatorade.
That Gatorade really did the job. It was gold.
Come on, Lenny. Against the heavily favored Vikings in Super Bowl IV, the Chiefs emerged victorious. The rest is history.
There's no better way to rehydrate athletes.
And today, Gatorade is on every sideline, every down, every... From boys to men, from one generation to the next, the games never end. And the legend...
Next week, what's better than an all-new Fear Factor? How about 2 all-new Fear Factors? All-new Fear Factors Monday and Tuesday. First on Monday, the all-female Fear Factor. Then it's a special all-new Tuesday Fear Factor.
Don't be a baby!
2 all-new Fear Factors Monday and Tuesday on NBC.
That's a happy Bill Smith, the Florida State trooper who accompanies Bobby Bowden on all his games, on the sideline with him.
28 years they've been together.
Rarely missed, but he missed last week when Bobby got the milestone 339 because his wife was ill.
And Bobby really spoke affectionately of Bill Smith. Been quite a team. Kind of kept about unusual circumstances at the end of games over the years.
Well, I think 4th down and goal from the 5-yard line for the Irish. 5 wide. Quinn wings it incomplete. The shutout is intact.
Well, Brady Quinn did the right thing, though. You just don't get sacked on 4th down. And a great coverage again. Good pass rush, the combination of the pass rush and the coverage. Quinn just didn't have a chance. Mickey Andrews, the defensive coordinator, calls it again. You think Mickey Andrews, the defensive coordinator, didn't care? Look at this. You're up 30-0.
A shutout at Notre Dame. That's something you can brag to your grandkids about.
Doesn't happen often here. You know, it's kind of interesting, though. The last couple of games here at home haven't really games for Notre Dame because the crowd has never been in it. You know, it's like almost being a home field.
Fumble in the end zone.
Oh, my gosh.
Washington. Look at this.
Where have you lost the shutout that way?
Turns it into a positive game. Derek Curry finally chases the elusive Leon Washington.
How would Andrews have felt had they lost the shutout?
I wouldn't want to go near him on the sideline. Well, but he's had trouble with this all day, Washington.
Well, yeah, he's dropped 2 of them, and Greg Jones has dropped another one. So I think they're going to abandon the pitch for next week. Play, I think. 3 perfect pitches by Ricks. 2 have been dropped by Washington. 1 by Greg Jones in the first quarter.
Meanwhile, Kyle Budensack injured on the play for Notre Dame.
The guys running all over the place. You never know when you angle you're not looking.
We're putting it to their rival Oklahoma State halftime. In Georgia, Florida, the world's largest cocktail party in Jacksonville, knotted up at halftime.
Quentin Burrell told us yesterday he used to park cars at the Florida-Georgia game when he was a kid.
Surprising Ohio State. And look at this, Tennessee and Duke.
That's surprise. But Dartmouth.
Jim Bell in mourning is the Big Green.
Yeah.
Hand Harvard their first defeat. Jim Bell, our producer. John Gonzalez, our director. Kyle Budensack field. Budensack, 270 pounds. Here from Bridgewater, New Jersey.
Yeah, a guy who's had, you know, a real solid year. Does make a lot of sacks. Very good run stuffer. One of those hustle guys, try hard guys.
And twice academic all-district. Rick still has it. Going deep. Thorpe goes up top to haul in another one.
Why is Chris Rick still in the ballgame?
A good question. Aaron Bible 27. And Thorpe with another spectacular catch.
Yeah, you're right. He's catches today. Deep ones, short ones, in had to adjust.
216 yards.
It's just phenomenal. Phenomenal. And we've talked about the receivers this year who have worn #1 against Notre Dame and had big days, and he's the third separate one that's done that.
Chris Davis with a couple of nifty moves, a cutback, and finally trapped at the 30. Chris Davis.
I'm not so sure you need to do that when you're up 30-0.
22 yards. Yeah, I don't know the point of that.
You know,
trick plays when you're.
They don't play next year, but I want to get if they did. This is. Don't need to embarrass him any worse. But he is a fun guy to watch, Chris Davis, and as we said a couple of times, Jeff Bell is going to be sensational.
Ricks still throwing with the big lead, and his third interception of the day as Jason Beckstrom picks it off for Notre Dame.
Well, you know, when your receivers making so many great catches, even when they're covered, you know, you have so much confidence in them. You go throw it up there, you figure, hey, they're just going to out-jump them. Great coverage by Beckstrom, and prevents a Seminole touchdown.
Whoa.
These kids coming straight into the and not getting an education. They'll be fine. I'll be taking them to school every night.
Give me a stock rating based on facts, and I'll decide what to buy and sell.
Schwab Equity Ratings can help you do just that.
Yeah, let's be realistic. There are some stocks that should be sold.
It's a better way to help you decide what to sell. Right now, we'll send you a free sample of Schwab Equity Ratings for 3 stocks of your choice.
I just want to get an objective point of view about the stocks I'm considering.
To get your 3 free Schwab Equity Ratings, just call 1-888-8-SCHWAB and discover a better way on your investment decisions.
When we drafted Tim Duncan, I invited him to my home to get ready. I was learning so much.
That doesn't count. You were out.
The roses are out, Timmy, not the daisies. So one day, you brought this into my home.
It's not something I'm proud of.
I calmly explained how because it has 8 rich lubricants.
David, sure. Comfortable.
More limited.
Edge Pro Gel. Save your skin.
Roses to
gnomes. Gnomes can be on.
NBC Monday. A beautiful Prince Charming. You've seen reality dating shows before, but anything like this.
Well, hey, how are you?
Surprise. Can a guy like this get a girl like this? Oh, yeah. Average Joe premieres NBC Central.
Knowles shutting out the Irish 3-0 with 11 minutes left. On the interception, Notre Dame takes over, but deep. Julius Jones, a couple of tough yards.
What a day for Craphonso Thorpe, number 1. Take for him.
15 yards.
You know, when I saw the 31-yard average, I said that had to be a mistake. It's remarkable.
He's the first player with 200 receiving yards against Notre Dame since 19. And first time yards since John Jackson of USC had 200 yards receiving. 89.
And, you know, we've talked about all the different kinds of catches he's made. Been good after the catch, in traffic, over the top. As a matter of fact, I think there's only one senior on the Florida State offense. Boy, another offensive lineman for the Irish. Their left tackle.
And Brian Mattis replaces him.
Well, they're running an offensive lineman. They started the year 4 offensive linemen that went to the NFL, and they've never the replacements. Good guys, highly recruited, physical guys. Kyle Budensack. You hate to be beaten 30-0, but you hate to see that even more if you're a Notre Dame coach or fan.
Breaking free is Julius Jones. Caught by Pat Watkins. Takes him out of bounds after a gain of 30.
You know, this team, Notre Dame, why can't they get Julius Jones in the open more often? Is that another offensive lineman?
Can't see who it is yet. I think it might be Bob Morton, the center.
Oh, my goodness. Third to go down. When you give him a little crease, and he doesn't need a big one, but and he's so quick at accelerating. It only takes him a couple of steps, but when he accelerates, you can get those kind of runs.
The injured player is starting center Bob Morton.
So Morton's gone out. Molinaro just went out a moment ago. That's the back of Zach Giles.
Quinn getting some practice snaps from him. Morton in some pain. Field. McKinney, Texas. Thane, the center, American center for the Irish last season. He left a season early. Yeah. He actually has a year eligibility left.
He does. He does. Left early.
But the Cleveland Browns have him in the starting lineup on Sundays.
Boy, you talk about a guy that went whistle to whistle. Jeff Fain was that guy. Man.
The only dominating done today. Both sides of the ball. By Jenkins, nice. His footing. And all the way to the 25-yard line. Nice move by Omar Jenkins just to catch the ball and then to add yards after the catch, 39 yards.
That couldn't happen to a nicer guy. And it was a great play by Omar Jenkins, who does his share of blocking for the running backs. And every once in a while they give him a chance. Great adjustment first over Cromartie, number 13. Breaks that tackle. Jose. I mean, great adjustment, great strength. I mean, really strong hands to pull that away from the defender. And then a very strong run.
Down to the 24-yard line. It's Jones. The Florida State defense again and get 4 yards.
You know, you mentioned used the term early in the game, Tom, about Notre Dame's chasing teams, and that has been a pattern they've gotten into, and they're just not quite good enough to get down, 14 points, 17 points, and come back and rally. Now they did in the first game, they won that one. Came back a little bit last week against Boston College, but lost. They need to keep games closer at the beginning if they're going to have a successful finish.
Molinaro, who was shaken up a moment ago, back on the field for the Irish. And pass on target. Raymond McKnight out of bounds. There's injured and headed to the locker room. Sunday at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific, NBC presents the 2003 PBR World Finals. $1,000 prize as top rider Chris tries to ride the bull. What was the name of that bull that he tried to ride last year? I can't either. The 2003 PBR built Ford Tough World Finals. John Gonzalez tells us Little Yellow Jacket was the one who got the best of Chris.
Oh, I wouldn't be Big Yellow Jacket.
Bull riding next Sunday here on NBC. Pass picked off. It's Leroy Smith. All the way for the touchdown. 90 yards.
You know, it really has been like a home game for Florida State. They the crowd from the very, very beginning. That wasn't even stunned silence. I mean, I think that the crowd. Great anticipation by a defensive back can really hurt a throw. And he just kind of jumped the route. Just kind of
textbook, huh?
Exactly knew where McKnight was going to go. Good scouting by Florida State. Jumped in front and then you know, good night.
Bullware gave him a little block just to make sure.
He didn't really even need.
Leroy Smith with his third season. That one goes.
He's the backup corner, by the way.
And Paytia has the extra point.
He is. He's a backup corner. Perfectly timed.
37-0. Tough afternoon for Ty Willingham and the Irish. Shutout 37-0 so far by Florida State. It's been a 90-yard interception return for the Seminoles, who will kick off. Shelton and Ellick, the deep men for Notre Dame, as Paytia has it ready to go. Today's game brought to you by ADT. And here's Ellick. And Ellick ran into his own man, dropped the football, and a scramble for it. They'll try to unpile him. The Irish just had a turnover on the previous play, the interception. Returned for a touchdown. And it'll be Notre Dame ball.
Smiling Bobby Bowden, but on the other sideline, if you're Ty Willingham, what do you do? I mean, you've already changed quarterbacks. You made the switch from Holiday to Brady Quinn. And as we look at the return and the fumble, right into his own man. Ball popped out, but they did recover it. See, there's just no easy answers. I mean, Tyrone Willingham's been a head coach for a long, long time. If there were easy answers, he would have already made the changes, right?
Yeah.
They've played a schedule that's been brutal thus far, and they've played some teams that have been incredibly hot. I mean, they've played teams that you know, started with Washington State, beat them. Washington State now is fighting for you know, a major bowl bid, 7-1.
And you figure that Notre Dame will probably be favored in these remaining games. I don't know about the 2 road games, but certainly it'll be close. That's a little consolation at the moment for Irish fans. Pass behind McKnight, who never looked.
You know, you say, if you're Notre Dame fans, say, well, you know, do something, coach. Well, change the quarterback. Well, like I said, they've already done those kind of things. You know, they've got now 3 more offensive linemen hurt. There's just really not a lot of ways for Tyrone Willingham to turn. He's just going to have a heck of a recruiting year, because he's going to need some guys next year that can come up with big yards, 30 and 40 yards at a time.
And their game against Navy, generally considered automatic, is going to be
well, Navy 6-3 now.
And it's going to be quite the contest next week, a week from today. Julius Jones takes the pass out of the backfield.
Well, speaking of anniversaries, tomorrow is actually the 40th anniversary of Navy's last win against the Irish. And how did I know this was coming?
Well, future Heisman Trophy winning quarterback Roger Staubach defeating Notre Dame 35-14. The last time the midshipmen beat the Irish Staubach that year completed more than 115 passes, 9 of them for touchdowns. You can see that matchup next Saturday here on NBC, 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Notre Dame plays host to Navy. Navy probably should have beaten Notre Dame last season, and this would be their best chance in that game a week from today.
You know, Paul Johnson, the head coach at Navy's done a great job. Staubach, as you mentioned, won the Heisman that year, threw 3 touchdowns that day 40 years ago. I think it's one of those teams that always seems to play the Irish tough, don't they? They run the ball well this year, the Irish.
One point this season, the Middies led the nation in rushing.
Candido runs a nice option attack.
Ball play to Grant. Mercifully stays in bounds to keep the clock running.
You know, if you don't have good senior leadership on your team, and again, they're led by a freshman at quarterback, I mean, your last few games can really get ugly. But I do think when you think of guys like Courtney Watson in particular, I mean, Glenn Earl, unfortunately, is hurt, but a great senior leader as well. Those kind of guys need to keep this team focused.
Florida State shows blitz, and here they come. Renee picks it up. Stovall.
Coming back for the ball.
Nice protection, too, to pick up the blitz.
Yeah, it was. And Brady Quinn kind of slid around in the pocket a little bit to give himself a little extra time.
First down, Notre Dame. Quinn's going down the sideline, and it's way over the head of Omar Jenkins.
The left tackle for the Irish. A while back, and just a couple of plays later, he came back in. Just did a terrific job of protecting Brady Quinn's backside that time. 6'6" senior. And he's fought through a lot of injuries. A lot of guys playing, different guys playing next to him. Right over here, number 70. Going to takes the inside away from Wembley, number 95.
From Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. I think he wasn't destined for Notre Dame.
Indeed.
Screen pass set up, and Florida State defenders, you let them come at the quarterback when you set up a screen. They're just too fast.
Yeah, and they had something going there. I mean, the screen was going to be there had he been able to get it off. Ryan Grant had 3 big old linemen in front of him.
So to bring up a third down play as Chris Ricks watches from the sideline. With mixed feelings, probably. He's had a huge, successful afternoon, but has thrown 3 interceptions.
Well, you know, it's the good, the bad, the ugly sometimes with Chris. Been mostly good today.
Brady Quinn steps up. His pass off the hands of Jared Clark. It'll be 4th down. Carter wrapped around Clark.
Well, you know, remember Brady Quinn against what was it, Purdue, threw what, 59 passes. He's already thrown 49 today, and most times you throw more than 30 times, you're going to lose.
Yeah, you're behind. Again, we said that's what they cannot afford to do. 0 for 4. Try another one here. Ry Willingham always has the same demeanor, win or lose, and Bobby Bowden, always the same folksy charm. Intercepted again. And still on his feet is Samuels. Samuels picks up a block and finally caught from behind, dropped by Omar Jenkins.
If you think Stanford Samuels has been around Florida State a long time, played in national championship games for the Seminoles. Actually, generally their starter plays ahead of Leroy Smith, the gentleman who ran 90 yards with a touchdown, but was injured a few weeks ago. Again, they just have a bunch of good guys on defense.
Jumped the route again.
Yep. Read routes, great recovery. After they catch it, don't they?
And he did a pretty nifty 25 yards before he was finally caught.
Fade Walker, I think, is finally in for the Seminoles.
Under center at quarterback. Walker with a handoff. Booker shook a tackler and lowered his head to the play. Collins and Bolin on the tackle. In case you're wondering, largest margin in Notre Dame Stadium occurred October 27, 1956, when top-ranked Oklahoma blanked Notre Dame 40-0.
Got all kinds of good stats for Notre Dame fans today.
That fact book was dusty back where we were looking for some of this stuff. Nice hole and a cut by Booker. Boy, that hole opened up and he was through it in an instant, wasn't he?
Yeah, you always talk about vision. He's got it. And there's a guy who had it today. 3 TDs, 3 interceptions. But even some of the interceptions, Tom, I mean, you threw it to guys who were covered, but golly, his receivers are so good.
So this could be only the second time in Notre Dame history that the Irish will have lost 3 games in a season by 30 or more points. The other time, 1956, Paul Horning's Heisman Trophy.
We usually see Paul around here.
Yeah. Is here doing the Westwood One radio.
There's a guy who, you talk about the throwers and the catchers, but Darnell Dockett, number 45, just another really good game for Dockett.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Most of the Florida State players, when we were in Tallahassee, told us that a bit of a score to settle from last year, and they settled it.
And they're not on the schedule, at least out the next 4 years.
I suspect there were several Notre Dame fans there.
Well, yeah, Notre Dame gets instead next year? Tennessee.
Andrew on the tackle for the Irish.
At Tennessee, I think it is.
Well, the Irish never shy away from the big-time schedule. But they have felt the lumps of it this year.
But, the beginning of their schedule is always so tough. Next year they open with Michigan. It's just hard to gain momentum and gain, confidence. Remember, a few years ago, Bob Davies' team got blown out at Nebraska, and I think it shook them up and really kind of ruined the entire season.
You look at these games and wonder how in the world they beat in Pittsburgh.
We already showed the graphic. They ran the ball well. They had some balance. They ran for 160 yards and 262 yards in those 2 games.
Well, let's take a look now, Pat, at our ADT defensive play of the game.
Well, surprisingly, it's going to be a Florida State play. That's the one by Leroy Smith. And clear sailing for Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith visits the end zone.
From 90 yards away. And that's our play.
They had good pass rush combined with good coverage. And that usually means a win.
Walker with a pitch. Booker.
Wouldn't want to tackle him in the open field,
He could embarrass you in a hurry, couldn't he? Michael Boulware and the Florida State defense about to record a shutout at Notre Dame.
Well, his mom, Nelva, won't have much to criticize this week.
Well, she'll find something.
You think? He was a delight.
Ticking down to the 3-minute mark. Fabian Walker, the backup quarterback, directing the Seminoles at the moment. Georgia, playing in his 6th game of the season. This is going to be another gadget play.
I don't like it. I really don't. Up 37-0.
Flag is down. Johnson made the play. That was Warren Sam. Sam's brother. Holding call against Florida State. You wouldn't think that Bobby would try to embarrass Notre Dame.
No. He really has a lot of respect for
holding
the
by the offense. That penalty is refused. That results in a 1st and 10 Notre Dame.
But I say, give the ball to fullback and punt it if you have to.
37-0. We'll be back.
Okay.
Travel. More video conferences.
Limit the cell phone minutes.
That's not good enough. We're not leaving this room. Something else.
Can they really keep us here? What about all this stuff?
What stuff?
All this stuff. What does it cost to create all this? Time, effort, people.
How much?
It could be millions.
I will not be afraid of the dark.
I will not feel guilty alone.
I will know my children are safe.
I will finally be able to relax!
At ADT, we help more people feel safe in more ways than any other security company. A single ADT system can help protect your home and family from burglary, fire, and carbon monoxide for $0 down. Plus, save up to 20% off your homeowner's insurance. 1-800-ADT-ASAP.
NASCAR's in the Wild, Wild West. Points leader Matt Kenseth returns to the Valley of the Sun, where he took the checker last year. With Kevin Harvick and Dale Jr. in hot pursuit. Can he get back to victory lane? Winston Cup Racing from Phoenix. Coverage begins with the Discover Card Countdown to Green. Sunday, 3 Eastern, NBC.
2:58 remaining. Notre Dame trying to avoid the shutout, down 37-0 to the Seminoles of Florida State, who will keep their national championship hopes alive. That was supposed to be. Brady Quinn keeps it and picks up a first down. And just a few moments ago, while we were in the commercial, Bobby Bowden, as is his tradition, toss of the hat to the band, the Florida State band, making the trip to South Bend, and it'll be a short trip home with a lot of
down in Tallahassee, he wears those wide brim off his face, throws those big. And when he comes to the Midwest, he favors the old baseball cap.
Ohio State making a comeback against Penn State. Michigan beating Michigan State today. Wins pass. Too far for McKnight. And Bobby Bowden gets number 300. And speaking of all-time wins by coach, we mentioned that Eddie Robinson, the all-time leader of wins in any division with 408. Quentin Burrell's great-grandfather. Well, today, John Gagliardi of St. John's. That's a Division III school. They don't allow scholarships. Just tied Eddie Robinson with his 408th win, and St. John's did it on a last-second field goal to give John Gagliardi his 408th win and tie Eddie Robinson for the lead all time.
It's a great story. Division III football fun too, isn't it?
It is. It's playing for the love of the game. Flag down as Quinn threw it away. Pittsburgh beats BC today.
We came in, they came out. We had to come in and
well, Larry Fitzgerald had here for the Panthers, had the wide receiver.
One of the leading Heisman candidates.
What he did today, but he came into the game, I think, with 14 straight games with a touchdown catch, at least one, and 2 against the Irish a few weeks ago.
Long faces after a long afternoon for the Irish. Into evening now, and
holding by the offense at the 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat, second down.
And the Sun chances early in the game. They were down 17-0 first quarter, and it wasn't that close. But now no Irish players because they take on Navy, BYU, Stanford, and Syracuse.
6-3 Navy. That's right. They were 2-9 last year.
Again, Quinn's pass way too far for Jenkins. Probably understandable because of the tough defense he's playing, but this has been one of the least impressive games, I think, for Brady Quinn in his young Notre Dame career.
2 steps forward last week against BC when it was really sharp. He was 59%. But today he's now thrown 51, maybe I think at 52 passes. Only completed that.
Well, I guess that's to be expected, isn't it? 2 steps forward, 1 back.
Yeah.
Especially when you play a team of this one.
A half step back if they could, they could run the ball a little bit more. Game earlier.
Ball play. Grant.
There's a real formula for Notre Dame, if they're going to win. And, keep the games close, like last year. Keep the games close. Make it a fourth quarter game. It's Carlisle Holiday, who was replaced by Brady Quinn. About as classy a transition, I think, as you can have. He's never complained, even when Brady's.
Now splitting his time as the backup quarterback and a wide receiver.
He spends about 30% of every practice as a wide receiver. Caught a ball last week. First catch as a receiver. Caught one as a quarterback last year against Michigan State.
Leon Washington still in there as they punt to him. Calls for a fair catch and makes it around the 30-yard line. So 1:37 on the clock, and one last offensive series for the Seminoles. And their backup quarterback, Fabian Walker. Here's Leon Washington. Had a mixed afternoon, showed us some nifty moves, fumbled a couple of pitches. Smiles from Chris Ricks, though. Ricks with his strong arm shredding the Notre Dame secondary. Tone was set early, in fact, on the first play from scrimmage, as Ricks 38 yards. And Craphonso Thorpe winds up with 7 catches, 15 yards, and a pair of touchdowns. Walker with a handoff as the Seminoles now content to let that clock tick away.
Well, Seminoles have at least two tough ones. They're at Clemson next week. North Carolina State's a good football team. And then down to the Swamp end of November. Face Chris Leak in Florida. The Gators.
There's Craphonso Thorpe. The most receiving yards ever against Notre Dame, 217. Final minute.
Sexton is quarterback for Florida State.
And Sexton is in at quarterback for Florida State. Third quarterback they've used today. Sexton, 6'3", 186-pound freshman from Tallahassee.
Didn't have him on my spotting boards, but nice little run. This is the band.
It'll be a tough road for Florida State if they're going to claim that national championship. Games left, but they need some help as well with one loss already.
They'll be very interested in the Virginia Tech game tonight.
Tyrone Willingham with an awfully long afternoon. Georgia Bulldogs losing to Florida game as Bobby Bowden, winning career game number 340, takes on Notre Dame. They're off to their worst start now since 1963.
Coach, right here.
Let's go down to Lewis Johnson as the Seminoles take a piece of sod for a
All right, Coach, thanks. Congratulations on a big win. And tell me about this, your 340th win in such a dominating performance at Notre Dame.
We haven't done that in a while. I don't know why, but we put it all together tonight, you know? And you don't usually do that. You know, usually something breaks down when something does well, but we played very well tonight.
When you think about Chris Ricks and the obvious talent he has, what are some of the things you hope you take this game as you move forward looking for a national championship?
Don't get careless with the ball. You know, he'll make great plays. One down on the ground, you know, but he's getting better at that. And see, he went. Quarterback is having to go through right now.
Right.
Total inexperience, you know. 2 years, this kid will be doing the same thing.
When you watch what's happening at your program with so many years of experience, you see what Tyrone Willingham is going through. Within you as a coach, as a human being, that says it's tough to watch that type of a performance when the team now is 2-6, struggling as you succeed.
Yeah, it'll turn sometime. I mean, it can go on like that some more games. Eventually, it'll turn if he'll stay with it, and I know he will. He's got a great university to recruit for. He's got good people on his staff, and he's got to get all of his guys in there.
Congratulations on a big win, Coach.
Thank you very much.
All right, Tom.
All right, Lewis, number 340 for Bobby Bowden, Division 1A winningest coach. And some interesting words for Brady Quinn, the freshman quarterback of Notre Dame. He was saying his quarterback, Chris Ricks, had growing pains as well. I don't know if he had any as severe as this, but he said that Brady Quinn would eventually turn it around too. Some encouraging words from one of the master coaches. And the man that directed that explosive attack today, Chris Ricks, is with Lewis.
Okay, Tom, thanks again. Chris, were you surprised right here? Always got you covered. Were you surprised at the way you were able to jump on Notre Dame so early?
Well, that was our game plan to go after them. Fortunately, it worked out early, and we were able to get some big plays. Our defense did a great job all game, but offense did a good job. Points on the board, definitely enough to win.
I think you're going to give the 70-something-year-old coach a heart attack if you don't learn to slide at some point. Talk about the risk that you continue to take sometimes with some of the balls you throw and of course, trying to run the ball when he wants you to get on the ground.
Well, definitely. You know, getting caught up in the heat of battle sometimes. You want to get that first down. You want to get the extra yards for the team and fight for your teammates. It's a war out here. And, you know, I try to get down when I can. But if I'm fighting for those extra yards, you know, try to fight for my team and get those yards. So I guess times.
All right, Chris, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Tom.
All right, Lewis, and some boos from the fans remaining as Florida State players take some sod up, but it was all Florida State. They set the tone on the first play of the game and completed the shutout of the Irish. The final score from Notre Dame Stadium is Florida State 37 and Notre Dame nothing. For Pat Hayden and Lewis Johnson, Tom Hammond sending you back to Jimmy Roberts in New York.